Hello, and welcome to the Lorcana Muses podcast. These are your hosts, Stephanie
and Brittany.
And today we have a really special guest.
It's Alina.
We're excited for Alina to join us. She's been a judge with Lorcana and has been to the DLCs in Atlanta, Chicago, and Fort Worth. Is that correct? It's perfect.
We're super excited to have her. She is my sister-in-law, so we have a personal connection to her. But besides that, she's just an awesome individual. So we'd love to hear more from her about all of her interactions with Disney Lorcana.
So to kick things off, we would love to learn a little bit more about you and your journey into how you got into Lorcana, as well as what made you want to be a judge.
So I got into Lorcana because of my brother, Brittany's wonderful husband, not wife.
I'm the wife.
Who is my brother. I got into him with him because he got me a little starter deck as a gift for my birthday, and then kind of just, it's like, you have to come do one thing with it. Okay, I'll come play one, try it out. That's how I got into it. It's also my first trading card game.
Oh, is it? Okay. That was my next question, is if you've been into TCGs before this, or if this was your first one.
I knew about them because I had a bunch. Like, when I was a kid, I would play Alex's and Dale's Magic cards just because I liked the art of them. So I knew they existed, but this is my first one that I've ever been, actually into.
Also, a note, when she's referencing Alex, it is not my husband, Alex. They also have a brother named Alex.
Yeah.
It becomes very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
So she's part of the family. There's Daryl, the oldest, Alex, and then Alina. So I'm really excited to have you. And yeah, if you want to go on in and tell us how you kind of heard about the judging program and all of that.
It was kind of like when they first announced the Lorcana challenges.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of went to the website to kind of see if there's any more information about them. We were playing, I think, at one of our local game stores, actually. It was in between rounds. So I had a buy or something. So I went in and looked at the website, and it was like, there's nothing really on here. And then at the bottom, there was, hey, do you want to judge or be part of staff? I was like, that could be fun. And coming from my background of theater and doing technical theater, I was like, I love being in the background of stuff. So
Right.
I was like, I'll sign up. I don't have any judging experience, no experience at all. Highly doubt I'll make it. And then I was there at the first one with my boyfriend doing it all over.
So did you have to do any training going into Atlanta, or what is the process for just signing up?
And then the head judge, Albert, he sends you an email with a judge's quiz, basically. It goes over a bunch of stuff. It goes over card rules, how to handle different situations, just because you have to do a customer service type of role. But then obviously some personal information, just so he gets to know you a bit more.
Okay.
He sees judging kind of as it's a thing, but you have to have a certain personality for it.
Obviously.
That's what he's looking for.
Yeah, totally. I get that.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of leaning into those game mechanics and rules, what are some, from your perspective, you haven't played many other TCGs, but what are some unique mechanics of Disney Lorcana that maybe you've heard from other judges about, or that you know about, that set it apart from other trading card games?
I would probably have to say the questing lore mechanic, just because most other TCGs that I know of go for a health-based type of system where you're attacking someone, but then you're questing for the lore. And with it being my first TCG, honestly, a lot of the mechanics are very outstanding to me, but I think that one stands out the most to me.
Okay, so another question I have is, can you explain some of the most common rules questions that you encounter as a judge?
The most common we get is, does this card see this? Does Bucky see it? The draw from Let the Storm Rage On? I think it's that one, because we always get confused with Let It Go. That's a very common one, is just, if does the card see this? Very easy, simple, plan. The turn of actions is how it's played. What's in the bag, kind of thing.
What's in the bag?
What's in the bag?
Off topic a little bit. What is the bag, and why can I not wrap my head around the bag?
So think of the Deceiver of All, Ursula. You were singing 2 songs.
Mm-hmm.
So you sing the first one, you would resolve it, and then she has to sing the second one, which technically goes in your discard first.
Right.
So you put that second half of Ursula in the bag.
Okay.
Because it has to go, you have to pull it from the discard, basically.
Right.
And then it sings it again. So the bag is kind of hey, stand by.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get to this action eventually, but I have to finish what the song wants, or whatever the trigger is. That makes sense. I think I got too much into my head about I need to say what's in the bag and what is the bag and what's this imaginary. Keep imagining like Mary Poppins.
Where is the bag?
Right? I kept imagining like Mary Poppins bag where it's like never ending.
I always think of that too.
Pretty much there for when the game gets like
You're doing a lot.
there's a lot
Okay.
going on that, hey, this is in the bag still, let's solve it.
Do you come across a lot of questions about how the bag like works? Because I think like to me as a player who's been playing since chapter 1, I do these things naturally. Like I'm naturally going to all play, Let the Storm Rage On with Ursula Deceiver of All and put the song away to bring it back later, but then to finish spraying the damage somewhere. Do you find that people try not to or can't do that, or
No, most people kind of understand it. The only time that probably get questions about it is like inside events. Really, like because that's what a lot of the new people play.
okay.
Competition, like their husband might be in the competition and they're in side events. So we get a lot of questions like that in the side events for sure.
Interesting. Okay.
It's fun to help the new people.
Yeah, no, definitely.
No, for sure. So you just mentioned side events. So what are some of the primary responsibilities of yourself as a judge during the competition, but as a judge in general during a Lorcana challenge?
So during the Lorcana challenge, our primary goal is to make sure people are following the rules, playing right, and
Having fun. Yeah.
vibe checking a lot of the time.
Okay.
Making sure that it's child friendly because recently we've had a lot of people wear inappropriate shirts. That was fun.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we're kind of there as a customer service thing. A lot of people think we're there to prevent cheating, but we only have so many eyes, and there's a lot more of you at the table. So we are there to help you if you think someone's cheating, but ultimately you gotta watch out for it too.
Great. That makes sense. How many judges show up to a DLC?
So it kind of depends on the number of people in the actual itself. So in Atlanta, there was about 80 judges, a little less, for about 2K. I think about Chicago is probably about the same. Not Chicago, Texas is about the same.
Interesting. Okay.
Chicago was a little less because there was only
Okay. That makes sense.
Okay, so you were mentioning the vibes, right?
Mhm.
So like, how do you handle like disagreements or disputes between players during a game?
So I haven't had to do this yet, but I've had heard of some things. It kind of just depends on what the dispute is. If it's like players being toxic to other players, then it's going to be unsportsmanlike. And if it's really bad, it'll be major, which can be a game loss. Yeah, so it can be a game loss. It's very hard to get disqualified in the actual challenge because we want it to be family friendly. But you get a game loss at the max. But if it's real bad, you'll get that disqualification and it's really bad. That's basically how you handle it. You just kind of a play by play base.
Do you have so many, kind of like in soccer, you go from yellow card to red card do you have so many chances to get the...
Kind of. So like certain things, like card count error.
Okay.
You get like 3 of those, or it's kind of confusing sometimes. Like some of them combine and some of them don't.
Okay.
So if you get 3 in one category, then you're out. Kind of thing. Not really out, but maybe game loss.
Right. Okay.
I haven't had to reach that point, so I'm not really...
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm glad that it seems like our community, I think we talk so much about our community on our podcast, and hearing a judge kind of reiterate that it is a good community and there's only a few instances where this happens. Yeah.
Very few bad eggs.
Very few.
Less than a dozen.
So kind of going off of that, I know, again, you're
Gaston joke. Over the heads of everyone in the room.
Gaston is not my favorite. I'll never recognize him. Excuse me. Kind of going back to like that vibe check and just the community in general. What is your favorite thing about being part of the judge community rather than the player, or as a whole for Lorcana? What's your favorite thing?
That's an easy one. I love meeting new people.
Yeah,
I love it. And meeting someone as a judge is fun, and then even just having that communication with players. Like the CS is someone that they can go to for anything. I've had people come up to me afterwards and be like, "Hey, I think this judge like maybe miscalled this. Talk about it." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll like update that judge," or "They did it right. I'm sorry that sucks, but like they leave off happy. Like that's what we want. We want them to walk away happy, and I just love meeting new people and having those good experiences."
That's
We've had multiple people, my boyfriend especially, has had multiple people come up to him about the different challenges and be like, this challenge was better than the last.
Oh, wow. Oh, good. That's so wonderful to hear.
We like to see that you're feeling like there's progress being made between each one.
Yeah, as judges, we feel it and we see it. There's a lot of progress.
That's awesome.
Making is gonna be fun.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we're super excited for that. So speaking of the competitive scene, but how do you see the competitive scene or these challenges like evolving in the future?
I think they're gonna evolve really well. I think I kind of want to like call this season like season 0.
Oh,
I
okay.
think they're just learning how to do this.
They're like testing the waters.
It's fascinating, and I think season 1's gonna be really big. And I'm hoping and praying that the rumor is right that Wolves are gonna be at Epcot.
What? World Champ
Epcot? That'd be so cool.
How do can I just come to watch?
It's probably gonna be like a whole like another like. So I don't know where this is coming from. I heard this one in a judge, so I heard some rumors.
Okay.
After
Yes, we love rumors here. We're all about the conspiracy theories.
that Wolves is gonna be at Epcot. We're kind of thinking judges nationals would be at Disneyland or Disney World. So we're thinking
That would make sense to do it.
Disneyland is like literally right across the street.
Right.
Convention Center.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense. But we're thinking just like these challenges where like there's the main challenge and like, these side events. We're kind of thinking to do that, but like at a mass.
Okay.
A whole different convention kind of thing.
So I know on Twitter, especially the last DLC, and what's happening with the DLCs in Europe, everybody's talking about qualifying. So what takes to qualify for these nationals or world
It's
championships?
the top 16, I think, in 2000 and then the top 8 in 1000.
Oh, okay.
So those people will get the invitation, I believe, to nationals.
Perfect.
And then Worlds will be all of them, obviously.
Cool.
Okay. And then so do you know if there's going to be additional ways to get one of those spaces? Because is there more than just those spaces? Because I know that there's a few people that have done multiple events have won.
Yeah. I don't know. This is like all speculation.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't know how this would
Okay.
work. I'm assuming nationals, they might like allow a few people in as like random, what's the word, like
Community players or
kind of like not like scapegoat, but just like a wild card.
okay.
Okay, yeah.
Like we have these good people that actually won the challenges, and then these people who got the ticket. Who knows?
Okay.
Okay.
Be fair.
I think World is going to be everyone is invited for like the side event things, and then the main kind of.
Okay, that was my next question is at Worlds, there are going to be side events for like kind of like they do attendee tickets.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I would assume. I think that would be the best play that they do.
If you're listening, Ravensburger, do it because I'm going.
We'd be there.
I'll go to Epcot.
That's the thing they do. They get a bunch of people there. They have a live audience for this.
Yeah, I mean, because people will just sit in the audience to watch. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
So,
Well, I'm assuming you'd want to judge. But you would watch.
I mean, I do. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of just general tournaments, like, can you just explain a tournament structure in general to our audience? Just like, what does it look like? Just the main tournament itself, not the side events, but like, what does that look like in terms, maybe even from a judging perspective, what that is?
So what challenge normally looks like is day 1 or day 0. You want to call Friday. The early check-in. You get there. Sometimes I think it's usually around 2. They usually let people in early, but don't quote me unless it doesn't happen. You get in, you check your bag. You get in, you get your badge, and then you can walk around and check out the vendors. At Texas, they had some events going on Friday.
They were very fun. We appreciated it and want that to happen again.
Don't know if it's gonna happen again, but we did have really feedback about that. So I don't have high hopes. So there might be some events for that after badge check-in, and you have to have your badge to play in those. Okay, so that's Friday. Saturday is the main day. All attendees and competitors can go. Competitors and attendees are split off into 2 different sections. Competitor only is where the actual event will happen. The 9 rounds. Player mean is at 9. Round 1 usually starts at 10.
okay.
No? Oh, okay.
That's how it happened at mine. I don't know if it happens at every event those times, but that's how it started.
Yeah. So, yeah, round 1 is right at 10, and then you do 3 rounds, and then they take a lunch break.
Okay.
Usually about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But they're really strict about when that 4th round starts.
Okay.
So if you aren't there, you can be dropped.
Oh.
So I always recommend being there. And also don't leave your seat round 3, because round 3 is when they hand out Dragonfires.
Oh, okay.
Don't leave until you have that. Because if you leave and they have it out and you're not there, it's a pain in the booty. Be the free to
Stay in your seat.
So, yeah, and then the round 4, and then you just play it until round 9.
And then you
Longest day ever.
They might be changing that a little bit. There was some talk in the little hidden judge Discord that we have that they might change it, but
that doesn't exist. Okay, so you finish round 9. Is it pretty, I guess this is a question for both of you guys. Is it pretty quick that you know whether you made it for day 2 or not? Or, because you have to I'm guessing as a player, you probably keep track of that yourself. But if you're unsure, because there's this whole bubble thing that I also don't understand.
A lot of complex melee math.
Right? Come on. How quickly do you know if you're going to make it to day 2?
Well, I feel like if you're in that, like, you're for sure, if you're in those top, 20 seats, like, you're for sure in those seats.
Right.
The closer you get to that top 64, right, like, the farther down you get, the math just gets a lot more complex as you get further and closer to that. I think the biggest cut is, like, it's all those tiebreakers. And so it's all, and then it looks at all of the players that you've played for the whole day. How well did they do? So it's all your opponent's win percentage and things like that. So I know that that's where a lot of the math comes in. So it's like there's points, yes,
right.
But then there's going to be so many people that have tying points for you, because then it can get to all those tie-breaking percentages.
Yeah, I think she's pretty right on about it. Like, if you're in those top tables, you kind of know.
Right.
You know, if you lose this and win that, you're in it no matter what.
So if I'm in the bottom and I'm waiting to see if, did I make it through the tiebreakers and did I make it to the top 64? Is it kind of like wait around and see? Should I go have dinner and just keep checking? What is that process?
This is kind of where, like, I wish I'd stay longer, but
you're hungry.
It's unfortunate why I get let go pretty early.
Okay.
Like, before round 9 usually ends. So I don't get to see that end of the part time. But I assume they have some type of announcement.
Right.
Hey, Melee's fully done uploading, you can tell.
Okay.
And then if you have those tiebreakers, usually you go and pick the cards up the next day.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that makes sense. Because otherwise I feel like have so many people waiting there until God knows what time.
And then Sunday is where the main event, where like the big haul is, around
right.
Saturday would happen, turns into the big side event day.
Right.
So side events are small Saturday, the big Sunday, main event goes small Sunday, and side events go big on Sunday.
That makes sense.
It's a lot of fun. As we have attendees, we have the competitors, so it's a bunch of fun. It's a little bit more relaxed because it's casual. We even go by the casual rule set.
Oh, okay.
There were still some competitive events on Sunday.
Yeah.
We played some competitive events and some casual events on the Sunday when we went. But they were very clearly labeled, hey, this is a casual event or this is a competitive event.
And all events give you tickets, right? Or
yeah.
Okay.
Even the main event, which I believe they did.
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They do main tickets, Alex.
Cool. So even if like I wanted to go, because I'm an attendee for Vegas, just get tickets if I want to play all casual.
Absolutely.
Not that I will, but I'm just asking. I got explained Pack Rush last week to me, so that was exciting. I've heard.
So fun. I'm so excited about it. I want to play it again. It's just I want to teach people how to play it locally.
Yes, I definitely do. There's been some other Discords I know we're part of are wanting to do it with webcam play and kind of do it that way. I want to get my hands on that. I want to learn. I want to do more.
There's a couple of judges that have like done Pack Rush stuff, and they do like Pack Rush like for a box.
Oh, that's cool.
A box for the Pack Rush, and then whoever wins takes the little box.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
Do you have so when you're not judging the main event, do you judge some of the side events?
So we judge main event on Saturday, and then most of the judge team goes to side events on Sunday.
Right.
Unless we're specifically told by Albert, the head judge,
okay,
hey, you're doing the finals.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you don't need as many judges on day 2.
This time in Texas, it was the deck check team. Okay. Which makes sense because they were doing deck checks all day on Saturday, so they deserve to judge something.
Okay.
And they're pretty well advised. They seem very knowledgeable.
What's your favorite side event to judge, to watch, I guess, judge and watch?
It's tough. I kind of liked watching and being part of Pack Rush.
Yeah.
Fun.
It seems like a lot of fun.
She has a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Hanging out people and stuff.
Sealed is fun to play, so I was excited. Even though I had completely garbage cards when I played, it's still fun to like think through the strategy of building a deck from all one set and all of that. And it was kind of fun to like be around other people as everybody's constructing. And, you know, 2 chairs down, people open enchanteds and things like that during that. So it was kind of fun.
That was fun. And I covered for draft for a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And then I started a pod, and I was like, if you don't get enchanted, don't blame me. On my first pod, and someone pulled an enchanted.
So they congratulated you on your expertise.
They're like, so what happens if I pull an enchanted? And I was like, nothing, you get an enchanted. And then he's like, okay.
Do you have proxies there to give them so they can like use?
No.
So
they can either play with the enchanted or they can put it to the side and just leave it.
Okay, that's good to know too.
Yeah, so talking about draft, do you have any strategies for players looking to improve their deck building strategies, maybe draft-wise or just in the game?
I do not know draft. I learned draft for the first time, that challenge.
Oh,
okay.
And I already messed it up the first time. For deck building, honestly, I think just talking to other players too. I think having other insight coming from outside than just like your close-knit play,
yeah,
I think really helps because it gives you that fresh vision.
Great.
Neat. Okay. How do you stay updated on like new sets and rule changes? Like, what do you do to get ready, especially now that, you know, we're about to have a new set again? Like, what are you doing to prepare?
So in our little private little Discord for judges, we kind of get the rule set a bit early.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. I think we did for Ursula's return.
yeah.
Because we had a challenge very close to it.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's how we do it. We just prepare. We talk about it. They go pretty in depth in the Discord on the rules because we have our own rules discussion for judges.
Mm-hmm.
They go pretty in depth in there. I can't talk too much about it.
No, of course.
Oh, absolutely. We understand. We're just kind of curious. Like, so you personally talk to other judges and you talk through some card mechanics that you might be like, oh, this might be a question
like,
people ask.
Ursula's return. What was the new mechanic for Ursula's? Was it?
I mean, there was.
They did the sing together.
Yeah. There was that, and then also when locations came in,
Yeah.
we also talked about that a little bit too.
You mean you didn't get a new card in every pack that explained it?
No, isn't it a puzzle piece?
Oh, I had a question and it just left my brain.
Well, I have another one.
Okay.
So are there any particular cards or strategies that you find interesting or innovative? Maybe even if they're not like meta, like are there ones that you enjoy watching or that you'd be interested to see?
There's 2.
Mhm.
One, I think, is not a surprise. I love aggro. Hyper aggro. I play it myself. I love it. It's so fun. It's a different type of game to me, it feels like.
Yeah.
And 2, I really love theme decks.
I love.
I got my... Can I cuss on this?
No.
We're a family.
But I got my booty handed to me by a Bloom deck. And I had no idea it was coming.
Oh, wow.
So you could say you were swept away.
I was swept away. Literally off my feet. It was crazy.
We have a friend who does locals here, league night, and plays with like the puppy decks and does the broom deck.
And I've lost to that puppy deck before.
It's
Now,
crazy.
was I super embarrassed to lose to a puppy deck? Absolutely. I have felt shame since that day. Every time he pulls it out, I'm like, yeah, I've lost to that deck. And so I have to like, I'm scared of it every time I see it. I'm like, I shouldn't be scared of this puppy deck because it really shouldn't have beat me. But it did because I didn't expect it to beat.
It shouldn't work, but it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you see a lot of hyper aggro or even just aggro in general in more of the like top 64, top 128? No, darn.
It's mostly meta deck, Silane, as you can tell by like how
I was really excited.
I saw that aggro deck was in Atlanta when it won.
I know, that was
Which was-
insane. It went out of nowhere.
Yeah,
I'm still floored by that.
I love it.
Oh yeah. It was also kind of a unique
It was very unique. I even told my boyfriend, I was like, I'm really happy it won, but I wanted it to be me.
So I do remember my question. The squirrel in the room. Are you guys prepared for dealing with like the new changes? Do you think you'll see him in his new change?
I don't think we'll see him as much.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think we might see a couple of decks that are trying to make it work with new cards.
Right.
So there might be some questions in Canada, but I don't think we'll see him as much as we did like.
Okay. Are you guys prepared, like overly prepared for, hey, this is not how you use this card anymore?
Yeah, that's fair.
I know someone was mentioning, I think it was kind of a joke, but like kind of like a little pass out if someone asks us, just slop it on the table. This isn't Ibaki. And it is a joke, but we'll see. They might actually do it.
Just give him a sticker to put on over the new.
Yeah.
Just like, here is actually what the card looks like now.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, how do you engage with Lorcana outside of the tournament? So you mentioned your Judge Discord. Is there other community parts that you kind of stay up to date with?
So I'm kind of like a lurker in a Discord, especially big ones. I kind of just like lurk and link conversations and channels. So I'm in a couple. I'm in one with all females that you guys invited me to. So I look in that one a bit more. But mainly the judges one. We have the official judge one, and then an outside judge one, from Alina because they were gonna remove us and stuff. So we made a personal one for us, and I watched that one too. That one has it's cool because it has a lot of outside opportunities that we can apply for and stuff. So
That's neat. Do you find like you want to do more local judging here?
So I'm actually totally gonna bring that up, and I totally forgot. I do some judging locally.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to. My boyfriend has judged for the Gamers Guild here, and then we were gonna judge for another locally one, but then the highway is closed to then reopen. That's a whole story.
We love trash.
What's the difference between local versus, I mean, I know the scale is so much bigger, but what else is like different when you're judging the locals?
Just how the tournament organizers want it.
Okay.
Like Ravens, like PPG has it like pretty set in stone. Pretty like easy to follow. But
Right.
when you go to a local and you do a tournament, they can have it completely different. They can be like, yeah, we're gonna do like this kind of rule set. We're gonna do this instead of this. Like they do it how they want, and you gotta follow it.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay. Can you share like a memorable moment or a story from you being a judge, like from any event?
So a good moment that I remember is actually in Atlanta. I think this is really cool in how they do this. They kind of start doing it in Texas, where Albert does his big speech during a players meeting, and then halfway through the speech, he says, "Judges take the floor," and we're all in the front, and then we all walk onto the floor.
That's so cool.
It was so cool. It was a little magical. It's like we have the superior, and we're also gonna have a fun time. Like we all walked to our spaces. We were sitting there waiting for them to start. Like it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
It's fun.
We did that in Chicago too, a little bit more or less like dramatic. And then Texas, he just kind of like told us, "Shoo."
Have fun. She's like, it's not as cool down.
He was like,
This is number 3. Just go.
behind schedule in Texas. I think that was kind of why. But yeah. And then another good moment, it's a call that I had in Atlanta. The kind of like interesting. I want to see what you guys think of it, because there's a couple ways this could go. The opponent starts his turn and you draw the card from his opponent's deck.
Oh.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Were they like, did they have like the same sleeve colors? Were their decks really close to each other?
Decks were pretty close. Sleep color is very different.
Interesting.
And it's only like twin 2 or 3. He doesn't know the other color.
Oh, that seems
sketchy. It's not something you think about in that moment, but after thinking about it and talking with other people, it was kind of like, that's a little weird. Like, why would you reach for your opponent's deck?
It is a little weird.
And draw the first card. You looking for something? You're looking for something.
Oh, how did you, did they have to shuffle the deck? Was it an immediate loss?
Yeah, it was an immediate loss. It was a hidden card error.
Okay.
Information that he found out.
Okay.
So he basically did, we just shuffled it back in and he got a warning for it.
Interesting. Okay.
Did he do it again?
Not that I know of. He didn't do it again in front of my area or anything like that. So I think it truly was an accident. Because they were like, what? This?
Oh, so very near each other.
I think they were very different colors. Like one was green, one was purple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think it truly was an accident, but it was like, when you think about it more, it's like, is he going to do it again?
Yeah. I wonder how that's going to, because there's so many new cards in Shimmering Skies that will allow you to play both players with the first card of the deck up.
Yeah.
I know Alex just built that deck today and was playing with it and did something on
husband Alex, not
yes, husband Alex, not brother Alex. Brother Alex sounds like something else. But it's just, he was trying to think through it because he's trying to build ahead of this weekend because we have draft on Friday and then Saturday is constructed. So we kind of need to figure out our stuff pretty quickly. But I was just like, it's kind of interesting because if you keep it right on your deck, or if you just keep it right next to your deck, I can see how people would like accidentally think, is this a card that's in play? Does it have to be on top of your deck, or can you like reveal it and put it right next to your deck?
So I would assume that it can be on your deck because people nowadays, like I saw a lot of this in Texas. I think it's really nice. But if they reveal the card on top of their deck, they just leave it up. They just leave it revealed.
Yeah, so because I play Mufasa, and so I reveal the top card of the deck when he perishes, or is banished. And so when he's banished,
Not magic.
it's not magic. You're right. So when he is banished, he reveals the top card of the deck. If it's a character, it comes in exerted. But when it's not a character, I leave it on the top of my deck, just face up, so that everyone is aware that what my next card's going to be, because it's public knowledge,
Right.
No matter what. So
I guess my question was, so with the new Merlin, I think it's Merlin's Cottage, is you just, if that card is in play, both players have to have the first card of their deck face up, like just in play at all times. So my question was, can I reveal it and put it right here next to the rest of my deck, or should I just leave it on top of the deck?
Does it say in play or does it just say reveal?
It says in play, like just leave it there, I believe. So I guess the moral of the story is when you're playing with that card or any card like that is to leave the card face up on top of your deck, just so there's no confusion. Yeah.
But it's not technically in play yet. You're playing it with it revealed.
Right. Okay. And then when you're having kind of like going back to the bag, because obviously we're going to see, I think, a lot of this in the Blurple deck, right? So you're doing a lot of bouncing stuff. As you're bouncing and as you're like, oh, I have to draw 2 cards, am I supposed to reveal both cards because they're technically on the top of the deck?
So you would reveal the one that's already revealed from that.
Yeah.
And then I believe you would reveal the next one because it says each player
reveals the top card of your deck.
So if you're drawing cards, that's the top
of your top of your deck, but then the second card would not be the top of your deck if it's like the number of cards.
Right. So you would still need to reveal. That's interesting.
When you draw, the other one becomes top of your deck.
That's fair.
So I think you would have to reveal it too.
Okay.
So you have to reveal them all. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that is very interesting.
I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I think...
No, I know. I came across that.
Sounds right.
It does sound right.
It could be one that's, they're like, well, no, maybe not if it's the farther down
right
or something.
No, I just think
could totally change it by tomorrow.
The way that man minds work when it comes to deck, he can go from playing like in a hyper aggro deck to now this really gross looking Blurple deck.
Well, the mind of your husband is something that you need to deal with. The rest of us.
He's an evil genius. I love him.
He's great. Okay, so what upcoming events or releases are you most excited about for Lorcana?
So I'm excited for the Las Vegas one, mainly because all of us Arizona gang.
Yeah, a lot of us are going.
It's already an Arizona party. It's gonna be so I'm very excited for Las Vegas. And I'm honestly really excited for Set 5 and Set 6. Like I think all of the chapter set reveals have always been really fun.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I know Set 5 isn't even here yet. Like, give me Set 6 reveals. I'm ready.
Card reveals are like it's such a great feeling.
You start making decks. Come on.
I know. I love making theme decks. I'm right there with you.
I think
so. What's your favorite theme deck that you've ever made?
I haven't made one yet.
Oh, okay.
But I really do like a Simba Lion King deck. I think that could be really fun.
Yeah.
Or the puppies.
The puppies.
No, not how Simba like.
The puppies.
The puppies. I want to do a puppies, like the yellow and purple puppies with the sorcerer's hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that one with also the Bruno Madrigal.
Yeah.
That's a deadly combination.
He like very nice with Set 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some more things with like naming a card.
Well, think about that's kind of what the blue purple deck Alex is doing, is because every card is revealed, he has put the sorcerer's hat in.
Yeah.
And it's just
you're like,
lore.
There's all the lore.
There's all my lore. And yeah, he plays with Bruno now and there.
Now we must have item destruction.
I know. Well, that's what I'm trying to deal with. It's okay, how do I fight this?
Mm-hmm.
But I built Amethyst Sapphire, the Queen deck.
Mm-hmm.
So especially with all the new queens, that has been
fun.
We go like 1-1 on each game we play, so that's been a lot of fun.
That's exciting.
That one actually has legs, which I'm excited about.
So speaking of new releases, like how far do you think this game's gonna go, and where do you see yourself going with it?
I think it's gonna go pretty far. I think it's gonna get pretty popular. I mean, it's already a year here in a couple of days, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's growing. They already have challenges within the first year, which I think is very huge.
Yeah, it is.
There's only more people going to these challenges that are brand new. I think it's gonna last for a good while. I think it's gonna continue to grow. I think there's gonna be more seasons of challenges.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Worlds and Nationals will happen.
I'm very excited. So going into a little bit more of a fun get to know you session, I'd love to know what your favorite Disney movie is.
My favorite Disney movie, new is probably gonna be Rapunzel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really do love Rapunzel. And old is gonna be Pocahontas.
That's a great one.
So excellent singers in both Tangled and Pocahontas. Like those are great. I love that.
What is your favorite Disney character?
This is a tough one.
Yeah, it's so hard because there's so many.
I think I'm gonna have to go with, my mind is saying Stitch. I really do just love Stitch. I love Lilo and Stitch as a movie, like definitely in the top 3.
Okay, and then you like Stitch.
I love Stitch.
I mean, what's not to love? He's such a great character.
He's a great character, and you played in the set champs for him, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, how'd you do in those?
Awful.
So welcome to the club, me too.
I do not know what you're talking about.
I am a little miss. I have a Stitch and an Ursula.
I mean, I worked hard.
She did. Favorite deck combo?
Amber or Amethyst.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for the hyper aggro. That makes sense. And then your favorite Lorcana card? Hey, like Eddie.
Hey is going to be a villain arc. It's coming.
We still are missing him in the Sapphire.
Yeah.
Oh, Sapphire villain. Hey.
We love to see it.
Who's a shift?
I know. Can we shift Hey?
I need shift Hey.
That is so funny.
That is so fun.
So, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually have a question for you guys.
Oh.
What mechanic do you see them adding, or one that you wish they would add?
Oh. Okay, so I always think like Disney magic. So I'm like, not magic the game, like Disney as it.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No. Disney as it like, Disney has so many magic.
Yeah, right.
I'd love to see a mechanic that kind of has like a magic element in terms of maybe it's like characters can do this if they're labeled wizard or if they're
okay.
So like I'd love to see more play off of like the card types, but like specifically for magic, just because I like the idea of like Disney is a magical place, and so I would love to see something like that. I don't know what it would look like specifically, but I'd like the theming of it.
I like the idea of going more towards the card types. I feel like that's not.
Yeah. Kind of bouncing off of that, I want to kind of play around with the card types too. So we have Wreck-It Ralph characters now. Yeah. I am kind of upset that none of the Wreck-It Ralph specifically are villains. Like he's all labeled as a hero. And I'm like,
he's an anti-hero.
I know, but the whole like thesis of the first movie is he is a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy. I would love it if there was certain cards or actions or items that like, or even just characters that they were both. He can be a hero and a villain depending on maybe what location's out or what other characters are out. I would love that.
That's cool.
If we could be a little bit more versatile. And then
there are a handful of characters that can possibly
help him do that.
Well, and be both, because some of those shift characters.
It's also like a whole like lore thing.
Yeah.
So like within the Lorcana sphere, like those characters that are glimmers could be a villain even if they're a hero.
Exactly.
If it means at 6, who knows?
I hope so, because I would love it if we saw some more like, hey, for this one play, he's a basic Wreck-It Ralph, he's a hero, but when you shift him or when you play Vanellope, maybe he becomes a hero. Or what did I say? Villain first and then hero. Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then if you think about the second Wreck-It Ralph movie, like he becomes the virus in
he becomes
internet.
the villain,
and so he is definitely the villain in that movie. And so it's not just like, oh no, he's a villain sometimes. No, he's a villain in his video game, but he's also a villain in the second movie.
And we're getting more and more complex Disney movies. So the last, I think, 5 or so years, there's been so many movies where there's not a clear-cut villain. There's not a bad guy.
Grandma Magic Raw.
But she's the villain, but she's not a bad person or a bad guy. She learns and she grows, and the villain here is generational trauma, which we do not have enough time in our podcast to go through. But I think that's interesting. The other mechanic I would love more is bodyguards for locations.
Oh, I like that.
No, I like that idea.
I do.
As someone who plays location,
Yeah.
I would love that.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, come on, give me somebody. What about you?
I think a fun mechanic they could add is like kind of like secrets, like hidden, that when something happens, like when they play a action song, both, it gets revealed, and it's like a counterspell.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
So now
like
it'll go off that magic element I was talking about.
If you guys are listening, you're familiar with Hearthstone, it'd be like secrets in Hearthstone.
Yeah,
Okay.
that is a fun game.
I've never played that game, but it sounds fun.
It's fun.
I think secrets would be really fun, especially for like villain types and like, I mean, because there's secrets in movies too, like hidden things.
Yeah.
I think those could look in very.
There's always
Yawns.
Yeah.
Well, you probably could figure out he was the villain or pretty early on. But
I don't know. I was in the movie theater and the audible gasp you hear at the end of that movie.
no, I was pretty sure because he was wearing gloves. But
Oh, is that a trait?
it's a trait.
Hmm.
If you noticed.
I have to go back and rewatch.
Gloves are a hidden item.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then it turns them into either a villain or a hero.
Villain on a honor too.
Yes, because like Elsa could also be considered a villain for part of that movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she freezes everything. So
I think that'd be fun. Just like a little hidden item, hidden character, hidden action.
Yeah, I really love that.
Honestly, I think that'd be really cool.
I hope they add something, because they didn't really add anything new to set 5, and I'm sure to like let the game breathe a little bit, because they just added locations and sing together.
I think with set 5 they wanted to change the meta, because I think they realized that 4 and set 3 and set 4 kind of added to the meta. I think that's what they wanted to shake it up.
I like it. I see it too. I see there's a lot more variety in the Sapphire cards. There's a lot more just different variations of current decks that you can change. I think that there's going to be a lot more color combinations that see more growth.
Just like Blopal. I think that wasn't really anyone's like it wasn't
there. It was there, but it's not their go-to.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. It wasn't a top tier. No, it'll be a top tier.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, last question: who is your favorite Disney prince? Like, who are you crushing after?
Well, probably Flynn Rider.
That's the correct answer.
I mean,
he's fine.
He's fine. I would agree. However, I would still say Aladdin, probably.
Aladdin's a good one too.
Aladdin is good. They're all just really great.
Probably number 2. They are, honestly.
Yeah, no, they're all great. I mean, my favorite movie is Beauty and the Beast, but I don't really like the Beast when he turns into a prince. I think he's got a weird chin.
Yeah.
So, but like, I like him as a character, but yeah, if we're talking about like the hunkiness of a prince, I wouldn't say that. I would also say Prince Naveen is pretty hunky. So
I love Prince Naveen, and I will fight anybody who tells me otherwise. You know who you are.
The bad boy gone soft.
Well, because he's not even. Well, I was kind of talking about it with Alex. He's just fun. Like, he's not necessarily a bad guy in the beginning. He's just a prince. He's a typical prince.
Yeah.
And he's fun, and he adds like levity to Tiana, who's so serious. And so, like,
we like seeing the balance as someone who has a husband who is more like on a playful side because I am more on the serious side. I like to see like that. Just like Aladdin. I feel like Aladdin is very similar. Like, he's more fun and playful, and he balances out the seriousness of
Jasmine. Absolutely.
So I like to see that juxtaposition of characters.
Well, we want to thank you, Alina, for joining us. It was so wonderful having you.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we were so excited to have you on. We also want to thank North Valley Games for letting us record in their back room again.
Yeah, ever thankful to them.
And we want to thank you as our community for continuing to listen to us. We are growing so much, and we appreciate and love all the support.
Yes, tell us keep telling us what you guys want to see or feedback that you have. If you don't follow us yet, follow us at the Lorcana Muses Podcast on Instagram or Lorcana Muses Pod on Twitter.
Or email us at the Lorcana Muses Podcast at gmail.com.
Do you have anyone you want to plug or yourself you want to plug?
Go ahead and follow me at Twitch at Princess Trashcan, twitch.tv/Princess Trashcan.
Ooh, do you stream?
I'm going to start streaming soon now that we got good internet out there.
Are you going to stream some Lorcana?
We'll see.
It might just be the video games. We love to see it. All right. Well, you guys have a great rest of your day and happy questing.